Champions keep playing until they get it right. After a career that has spanned 2 decades, the illustrious reign of Equus is coming to a close, and he has gotten it very right. Owned by Hazelbank Investments, the 19-year-old Arabian Stallion is the most successful Arabian park horse in history. Blessed with a tremendous amount of natural movement, the highlight of the Arabian Park Horse Division, Equus has become an icon. Canadian national champion in 1995 and 1996, he won his first U.S. National Champion Park Horse honor in 1997 and repeated as U.S. champion in 1998 and 2005. In 2007, he also added an amateur title at U.S. Nationals to pad his resume with unprecedented accomplishments and secure his place in history as a legend. Equus is a once-in-a-lifetime horse for his connections, including Bill Rogers, who has worked with the horse for over a decade. He described him as a pet and an angel. It is not only his amazing ability to trot that garners him praise, it is also his personality. Equus has also been awarded a Legion of Excellence Achievement Award by the Arabian Horse Association, recognizing his feat of accumulating more than 300 points at any combination of AHA-recognized events. Throughout his career, Equus has 5 top 10 placings in the Park Horse Division at U.S. Nationals and 7 regional championships in both park horse and formal driving. Equus will be honored in a retirement ceremony by carrying the American flag at the 2008 U.S. Arabian and Half Arabian National Championships in Tulsa, Oklahoma. As a stallion with limited offspring on the ground, he has a promising future ahead of him as a breeding horse. After more than a decade of achievement, Equus has clearly gotten it exactly right. Success, they say, comes from those too busy to look for it. And Esteban was one busy Frisian in 2007. Dividing his time between driving and in-hand competitions, he picked up 3 world championships and 6 national championships between May and October. Owned by Deb Goldman, Esteban came into her life in 2001 and marked Goldman's return to the horse world. He began showing in hand as a 2-year-old, and Esteban relished his time in the spotlight. After Esteban's success under saddle with Goldman's daughter Rebecca, Goldman decided last year to teach her beloved horse to drive. Since that decision, Esteban has cruised from one success to the next. Esteban won an unprecedented 26 out of 28 driving classes, shown primarily by trainer David Hannon, but also by Goldman on a handful of occasions. In hand, Esteban continued to thrive, winning 15 of 17 in-hand classes with extraordinary stage presence and conformation. Handled by Hannon and amateur Stephen Stiller, Esteban exuded class and style in hand, both in the regular halter classes, which judge form to function and movement, and the Baroque classes, which reward a rounder body type and movement. His exemplary conformation led to consistent success. Esteban picked up championship titles at the Baroque Horse Classic and the Baroque Horse Festival in Wisconsin, and the Andalusian Region 3 Championships, where he was undefeated in 8 classes. He was crowned both national and world champion at the IFSHA World and Grand Champion National Horse Show in Missouri in October to close out a remarkable year. In faultless driving performances, continuing from success to success with consistent brilliance and forward movement, Esteban is a horse with the drive to succeed. The pressure that comes with being undefeated is that you could always lose the next time. Don't tell that to Super Pony Free Willy. The 14-year-old hackney was perfect in 2007, winning all 9 classes. He contested to run his overall record to 25 consecutive wins. Owned driven by Georgia Blevins, Free Willy opened his 2007 campaign in May in Asheville, North Carolina, winning both qualifying and championship classes of the Open Roadster Pony section. From there, he never looked back, picking up his final victory of the year in November at the UPHA American Royal National Championship in Missouri. And along the way, he hardly put a foot wrong. Winning at Rock Creek and the Kentucky State Fair, as well as the ASHAV in Virginia, ensured that only the brave would take on this dynamic pony who set the standard for roadsters. There's just something about George's hands that Free Willy responds to, says T.J. Blevins, George's husband. His extremely animated motion and speed has won him fans at every competition he's contested. He has been the World Grand Champion Roadster Pony at the Kentucky State Fair 3 years in a row. In 2006, he was the champion Hackney Roadster Pony at the Ohio State Fair, picked up the winning Roadster Pony honors at the American Royal, and won the United Professional Horsemen's Association Open Roadster Pony Award. Not only extraordinarily talented in the show ring, Free Willy is beautifully mannered, extremely intelligent, and shows up with a big performance every single time he's called on. He's performed in front of capacity crowds of up to 30,000 spectators over the last few years, meaning that hundreds of thousands of people have witnessed his stellar performances. Athlete, gentleman, horse show legend, Free Willy. Ernest Hemingway coined the phrase, and Sapphire is the living proof. Shining in a sport dominated by boys, Sapphire has jumped through show jumping's glass ceiling over the last 4 years. She was a rookie when she was part of the gold medal winning team at the 2004 Olympics. And now, the Belgian warm blood mare has remained one of the most venerable horses on the show jumping circuit. With longtime jockey McLean Ward at the controls, she had one of her most successful years to date, picking up impressive wins all season. When the stakes were high, Sapphire was at her finest. Owned by Ward and Blue Chip Bloodstock, she won the $75,000 Bainbridge Idol Ice Classic. And then she decimated a field of 50 in March to win the most valuable Grand Prix in the country, the CN Worldwide Grand Prix in Wellington. As dependable as a Rolex watch when the world was watching, Sapphire didn't disappoint. Less than 2 weeks later, she was second in the Budweiser American Invitational in preparation for the FEI World Cup Final in Las Vegas. Sapphire left the field in her wake, picking up a victory in the opening leg of the final, the speed class. Sapphire's bank account continued to grow when she won the $75,000 Grand Prix on the Devon Showgrounds by more than 3 seconds. Sapphire's performance also helped Ward win the Richard E. McDevitt Style Award. Sapphire continued jumping well at the Aachen World Equestrian Festival and the Rotterdam CSIO 5-Star in Europe. She then flew to Calgary to jump in the Spruce Meadows Masters, where she was a member of the Nations Cup team. She is the American Grand Prix Association's Horse of the Year, with more than $224,000 in prize money to her name in 2007. In contest after contest, when the world was watching, Sapphire sparkled. It's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog. Theodore O'Connor spends much of his time looking up. Standing a hair shy of 14 hands, he jumped onto the international radar screen at the 2007 Rolex Kentucky 3-day event, with a third-place finish in his first CCI 4-star. Teddy made it clear that he was well armed for the fight against horses who towered over him. With Olympic veteran Karen O'Connor in the saddle, Teddy arrived in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil for the Pan American Games and found himself in the lead-off spot for the American eventing team. He then put in his best dressage performance to date. The cross-country course, though not huge, was twisty and demanding. But Teddy scampered around the Deodoro countryside easily, and by the end of the day, found himself perched atop the leaderboard. He cantered into the show jumping phase and defied gravity again. Teddy secured Karen her first individual gold medal and cemented his place in history, proving that size doesn't matter. Bred by P. Wynn Norton, an innovative horsewoman from Florida, and owned by the Theodore O'Connor Syndicate, Teddy has many other firsts this year, including being the first pony named the U.S. Eventing Association's Horse of the Year, and the first one to compete at the Rolex Kentucky CCI 4-star. With 3/4 thoroughbred, 1/8 Shetland, and 1/8 Arabian blood running through his veins, he exhibits the ability, tenacity, and quirkiness of each of the breeds. He is spring-heeled and has a horse-sized stride. Scope, endurance, speed, heart, movement, and courage all coexist in his 900-pound frame. When Teddy arrived in the O'Connor's barn in 2005, Karen O'Connor had already established her career with Olympic medals on giant horses. But with 2 gold medals from this summer's Pan American Games, Theodore O'Connor proved that the size of the pony in the fight doesn't matter either.